Hello everyone and welcome back to Rebel Brick. Today I'm going to kind of take a blast from the past here. This is something that was actually done up by Hasbro when they had their Kre-o line. This is the Terror Drone. So I have my camera sitting in a different position so that way we can hopefully see this. This is a fairly good size set, and to really let you know, I mean, here we have this, I believe, oh shoot, my mind is drawing a little blank here this morning. Dial tone. So we have dial tone standing right here on there. It is a very nice big set. I think Hasbro had done some really good ideas when they were doing their Kre-o line. I really wish that they would start that up because they had the franchises for G.I. Joe and Transformers. Although Transformers to me was a little hit and miss here and there. But when you're talking about bigger robots, what you're trying to figure out, and I don't think they had as an experienced team as what Lego has. So I give them a little bit of a pass on that. Hasbro is used to doing their stuff, but if maybe we could get Lego to do G.I. Joe, that would be awesome. I don't know if they'd ever be willing to do that, mainly because of the modern gun thing and all that stuff. So probably not, but that would be awesome if they could, because I think we could have some really good stuff. I'm a child of the 80s. I grew up watching G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that stuff. So when this had all come out years ago, I was really happy to be able to try and find some of this stuff. Of course, some of the stuff I could find locally, and some of it I couldn't, and it took me a little while in that. So, thank God for Amazon, and that's why I've kind of stayed with Amazon to be able to get some of this stuff. The set had originally come, oops, that was the one bad part. It came with Serpentor. I believe it came with Tomax, and I think one Cobra Trooper, and I think I have Tomax and the Cobra Trooper on the fireboat that I converted into, I believe it is Cobra Moray. That's the red hydrofoil. So here's Serpentor. I think he worked out really well. The only thing is when G.I. Joe did their figures, to make sure that there wasn't a copyright issue or whatever else, they had it so you could twist them, which is fine in a way, and only has the one peg. But every time that you stick the legs in and you end up trying to pull that figure out, you always end up pulling the torso out, and the legs are still sitting in there. So that always just drove me nuts. And maybe it's sacrilege to even say this, but for some of my figures, I was actually super gluing the legs onto the torso to make sure that wouldn't come apart. When my daughters go to sell these when I'm long gone or whatever, maybe somebody might give them some issue about it, but I don't intend to get rid of these anytime. So not unless my wife suddenly gets on my case, but I think she laughs at me more than anything else. I don't think that's going to happen. These are some simple sets here, trying to do this. I know I got a little bit of dust on here yet. Like I said, I get a lot of dust in my basement. I think it worked out pretty good. This was pretty good. The only thing I really wish, and I'm going to open this all up. So this is a big set, and it's a great play set. So even though that we have just the top and you can look around, and I'll try and open this all up so you can see everything. The one thing it didn't come with was the fire bat. That actually came in a different set. So I'm going to walk around my table here so you can see this. They actually have a lever on the back side, so you can actually raise the platform. And as I do this, I'm always nervous I'm going to break it. Nope, fire bat flew. All right. So here's the fire bat, and that looks really nice. It really does. This looks very much like the old 1980s. And I don't remember the pilot they have in there, but I believe that was the look of the actual pilot they had inside the fire bat. So it does look really nice. Has 2 bombs on there that it can drop. So they did a really good job at this. I really commend them. Small little plane, nice and neat. It does fold up and go in there, as you had seen. So that worked really nicely. I want to point this out. you know, because whenever we're doing like joysticks or control sticks for planes, we're either doing a yoke or we have like an antenna. Kre-o, this has actually got 3 spots. So here's 1 spot, here's 2 spots, there's 3 spots. Lego just has front and back. So that was kind of an interesting take on that design on how to do that. Like I said, it was, I think they had a bunch of new guys trying to do some of the same things that Lego was doing, but trying to stay separate so that way there wasn't any copyright infringement. But that was kind of an interesting take on how they did that. You know, this is a nice little piece. It is pretty solid, so they did do some fairly good work on that. This whole top comes off, but before that we do have the 2 cannons that are sitting here. They do raise and lower, so if you wanted to help defend your Cobra base, the Terror Drone here from G.I. Joe as they're coming, you had that availability. I'll lift this up and off. So we have some extra bombs sitting here, so I don't know how well you can see it in there. I'm gonna look over because I rearranged everything a little bit. So all right, we'll swing this around here, and these come down, so that is really nice. Pretty much all this comes down. So as we flip this around, so we have a computer console here, we have a couple extra bombs to replenish our supply stock here on our fire bat. I'll lift these up so I can swing this around without hitting the camera. And again, we have a couple turrets right here. We got one here and one sitting over here, and they do raise and lower and actually go back and forth, and it's got a spot for a figure to sit in, so that is really awesome. Okay, and then on the front here, or back, or whatever you want to call it, we do have a prison cell, if I can speak here this morning. Yeah, we have a prison cell, so if they did take, say, Flint or Duke prisoner again, we have a place to put them, which is kind of cool. And we have our other cannon sitting here. I believe this was meant to be like a loading dock for one of their vehicles, and then by chance I happen to have one. This was actually shoot, I don't think, actually I'm trying to remember it because I think that was from a different set, and I think that actually was with Storm Shadow, and that's why it was in white. But so their little four-wheeler, although it didn't have the cannon on it. I don't know if you guys remember their four-wheelers, and I don't remember what they called them. They had the cannon on the side. As we drop this down, it looks like it has like a refueling depot right here. So I'll lift this up. Nope, it doesn't want to go all the way up with that sitting right there. So I'm going to put that sideways. That way this wants to go up. All right. And then on the back, that's not good. This doesn't hold on as good, and then I'm kind of dropping things here. This doesn't hold on as good because we have this lever, and that lever is for getting that up and down there. So we'll have to kind of forgive that a little bit, but you know, it just is what it is, right? They're trying to get quite a bit of stuff in there in a small area. I get it. I'm not against any of that. So, and then we also have like a nice big screen here with Cobra Commander on there. And it says "Go get the Joes," so we have that on there. So I kind of sit this in here, and hopefully I can. There it is. All right, so that's more or less this, but this is very nicely done. This is fairly secure. I do really like this. I get to look at this almost every day. I have it on a shelf close by, but in the mess of my basement here, because I get to share this with my wife and kids, and you know, we have a couple bunnies that you hear in the background, and I have one of them itching their ear. But you know, I get the rabbits and the food and everything else, and that kind of stirs up a little extra dust here too. But it is a very nicely put together set. I really wish Hasbro had kept doing this. Maybe if any of their executives ever see any of our stuff, probably years from now, I think this was a good direction for them. I think it would be even better if maybe they did work with Lego, or maybe if Lego was actually to pick up or try and pick up the G.I. Joe and Transformers and all that. I think that could be really interesting. And they even had the Dungeons and Dragons line, which that could work very well for Lego for doing their castle or whatever Knights sets. Because I've actually started using Lego minifigures for doing Dungeons and Dragons, and with all the Star Wars stuff that I have, I've bought a bunch of miniatures in the past, but I don't know if I'm really going to use them all that much anymore, because I have a good collection of Stormtroopers and Clone Troopers and miscellaneous Star Wars figures. So I think there's a good chance that I will probably start using Lego for all my stuff, because the ships are closer to size. So if I ever put a ship out, it's close enough compared to like the miniatures, because quite often I would have like the Firebat as a miniature, and you move your figure up to it, but that's supposed to be an X-Wing or something, and that's way off scale. So I'm thinking I might start doing that a little bit more. Make a comment and let me know what you think about that yourself. But this set works really well. I have another set I'm going to try and show you. That is the G.I. Joe Battle Platform, and I think when I do that one, because Hasbro had contracted with somebody else to do some stuff, and their stuff was very poor quality. I felt bad for picking it up. The only good thing is the figures are a little closer to what Lego has, but the paint job on them and that didn't look quite as good as what they did with their Kre-o. I do really like the paint jobs that they have here. The helmets and all that were kind of unique and different from what Lego had done. I think that's very telling as to where they could have gone. The only problem is they had decided, for whatever the reason, that no, that just wasn't their mode of trying to sell a new line of something for collectors and that. But I, for one, as an old time fan, I'm really happy that they had done it when they did. I wasn't able to pick up all the sets. I did pick up some. I still have one set I have yet to put together, maybe two, but I know one for sure, and that's the Ninja Training School in that. So, and I can't remember the exact name to it, but that's got the Hiss tank. So, with that being said, thank you for watching Rebel Brick. I hope you have a good day, and keep bricking.